In this video, you will learn how to solve equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign. Like in the first example, we have an x term on the left side of the equal sign and an x term on the right side of the equal sign. Our first step is to move the x terms to the left side of the equal sign. So we don't want any x terms left on this side. So to get rid of positive 2x, we must subtract 2x from both sides of the equal sign. Remember, you can only combine like terms. So x terms can only be combined with other x terms. So we're left with 10 subtract 5x, since negative 3x and negative 2x makes negative 5x equals, this makes 0, and we're just left with 1 decimal 2. So we want to get the x term all alone. So we need to get rid of the constant term positive 10. The opposite of a positive 10 is negative 10. So this makes 0, and we're left with negative 5x. 1 decimal 2 subtract 10 is negative 8 decimal 8. Now we need to get the x term all alone. Right now we are multiplying by negative 5. The opposite of multiplying by negative 5 is dividing by negative 5. Whatever we do to one side of the equal sign, we must do to the other to preserve equality. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1. 1 times x leaves us with x. Negative 8 decimal 8 divided by negative 5 leaves us with positive 1 decimal 76, which is the value of x. In the next example, we have variables on both sides of the equal sign. We also have 3 terms that are fractions. So we're going to use the common denominator strategy. Make every term a fraction, and then get common denominators between every single term in our equation. The lowest common denominator between 3, 2, 4, and 1 is 12. So I must multiply the numerator and denominator of the first fraction by 4, the second one by 6. This term we need to multiply the numerator and denominator by 3. And to get a denominator of 12 here, we must multiply the numerator and denominator by 12. So this gives us 20 over 12 y plus 42 over 12 equals negative 3 over 12 plus 36 over 12y. Now that we have common denominators between every term in our equation, we can drop the denominators and just work with the numerators. So we need to solve the equation 20y plus 42 equals negative 3 plus 36y. As you can see, we still have variables on both sides of the equal sign. We don't want any variables left here on the right. So we need to get rid of positive 36y. So the opposite is to subtract 36y from both sides of the equal sign. Remember, you can only combine y terms with other y terms. 20 subtract 36 is negative 16y. Plus 42 equals -3. And this just makes 0. So now we go ahead and isolate the y term. So we need to get rid of the constant term 42. The opposite of adding 42 is subtracting 42 from both sides of the equal sign. That leaves us with -16y, this makes 0, equals -3, take away 42, leaves us with -45. Remember, we want to get the y term all alone. Right now we are multiplying it by -16. So the opposite is to divide by -16. And whatever we do to one side of the equal sign, we must do to the other. So that leaves us with y equals, and negative divided by a negative is a positive, 45/16. That improper fraction is in simplest form, but we could also write it as the mixed number 2 and 13/16. So that is the value of y. And that is how you solve equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign.